So if you know anyone who is about to purchase real estate in Nigeria, or maybe somebody in your family is about to purchase a property, please send them this video. I am about to share 6 ways in which people get scammed and the number 1 check that can stop it. Number 1 is a revoked title being quietly sold. This is a situation whereby the government has already revoked the title on a piece of land or property and it is still on the market. This is something to look out for, especially in a place like Abuja. Titles are usually revoked due to non-development of the property or sometimes because there's ground rent being owed on the property. And they can get sold to buyers who only confirm that the title exists and not that it is still valid. I remember we came across something like this in Abuja a few years ago, where we got a client request for a piece of land in a part of town. We got one which we felt was fantastic, but by the time we did our due diligence, we discovered that the land had been revoked. Of course, we pulled out immediately. So what are the red flags? When you see a property that's selling way below the market price for no apparent reason, or if you find that the property has been left undeveloped for a long period of time, or if the seller is putting so much pressure on you to make the purchase, you may want to do a deeper dive of check before you go on. So what check needs to be carried out? You need to get a property lawyer to confirm the revocation status of the property. Not just that the title exists, but that it has not been revoked and that it is still valid. Number 2 is the sale of government-owned land. This is a situation whereby the land that belongs to government, someone is trying to sell it to the public. A lot of times that land has been planned for something else by government. Of course, it could be road construction or any other thing. The land belongs to government, but someone is selling it as if it is their own. Sometimes this land is even fenced. They may put a big and beautiful banner on it, but it does not belong to them and therefore cannot be sold to anyone. So sometimes the seller knows about this and sometimes they just inherited the problems themselves. Either way, no matter how fantastic the papers look, they are completely irrelevant because that land belongs to government and therefore cannot be sold to you or to anybody else. So what are the red flags? Usually price. When you see a piece of property that is selling way below the prices of other properties around it, you need to pause and check. Also, when you see a situation whereby there's no Excision, there's no Gazette, there's no title whatsoever, and nobody can tell you the acquisition status. And when you try to ask questions, they just tell you all is well. Don't worry, all is well. The land is okay. The title is fine. You need to immediately press the pause button. So a short while ago, I was out on inspection and I noticed a particular portion of land where some buildings had been erected, and these buildings were even up to the lintel level, and I discovered that some houses had been kind of like punctured, and upon further inquiry from the people around, we were told that those houses had been marked for demolition by government because they were constructed on a portion of land that had been marked by government for road construction. What this simply means is that those people must have purchased government acquisition land without knowing, and they had gone ahead to put their buildings on such land, and now government is ready to construct the road, and therefore those buildings are most likely going to come down. So what is the right thing to do? You need to check the status of the land yourself, whether it is an Excision or a Gazette or whatever title it has. And you could also just get a property lawyer to get this done for you, but it must be confirmed. Also, if a particular piece of land is coming way too cheap, just press the pause button until you have verified the status of the land. And number 3 is the fraudulent survey plan. This can be in 2 parts. 1, you have a survey plan in which the coordinates on that plan are fake, The second scenario is when the survey plan has genuine coordinates, but those coordinates belong completely entirely to another land that is different from where you have been taken to as a client. I was at a program one day when an investor shared how he encountered something like this. He was taken to a particular land that was completely different from what was on the survey plan. This he discovered after he got a registered surveyor to chart the plan and discovered that it was in an entirely different location from where he was taken to. So what are the red flags? As usual, pressure. When someone is trying to convince you to make payment even before you're done processing your decision to make that purchase, you need to be on your guard. And of course, when you mention the fact that you would want a professional to chart the survey plan for you and you get resistance, or you get the seller trying to convince you that there's absolutely no need and that the land is fine, then you need to pause. So what is the check for this? It's simply to get a registered surveyor either from the state office or independently to chart that survey plan to verify if the land you have been taken to is exactly what is on the plan and if the plan is genuine. And number 4 is the listing that belongs entirely to someone else. This is a situation whereby the person that's trying to sell you a property has absolutely no link to the owner of that property. The person is just trying to scam you. The person has no authorization to sell the property. The person does not even, in a lot of cases, have access into that property. Some of the red flags in this situation include pressure to ensure that you make payments even before you view the property, or trying to ensure that you pay into a personal account instead of a corporate account. Unfortunately, a lot of people fall for this kind of scam. I particularly know someone who was a victim of this kind of scam in Lagos State. And as a matter of fact, the person who scammed them had absolutely no link with the owner of the property. The owner of the property had not even made up his mind what he wanted to do with the building as at the time that the client paid. And of course, after payment, the agent disappeared and was never seen again. So what can you do to check this? Always insist on a property inspection, either a live video call from within the property or visit the site by yourself. And if you cannot make it, you can also send somebody you can trust. But insist on an inspection before you make payment. Also avoid paying into personal accounts. Always pay into a verified corporate account. Number 5 is excision in progress. This is a situation whereby a land is heavily discounted and is sold to you based on the premise that the excision is in progress or the gazette is in progress, but it never comes. So what are the red flags? Anyone promising you that an excision is in process or a gazette is coming without the actual gazette that you can hold and verify is not acceptable for you. So what is the check here? Only pay for what already exists, not what is promised. As a matter of fact, there is a term that is used for land that only exists in marketing. It is called an audio land, and you are not meant to pay for an audio land, but for a real piece of land. And number 6 is the estate that was never built. This is usually a situation whereby there's a lot of marketing, glossy pictures, promise of a fantastic estate with beautiful amenities, and all that you can hold on to are the pictures and the beautiful videos, but not a track record of the developer. This is a red flag for you. The red flags in this particular situation include a lot of talk, a lot of promises, but nothing concrete about what they have actually delivered on. No track record of happy clients that they have actually delivered to or allocated to whatsoever. And you find out that whenever you try to ask about what they have actually done, they keep talking about what they promised to do. And so you have the 6 scams that a lot of people are falling for in Nigeria at the moment. If you know anyone who is interested in buying property at the moment, do share this video with them. It doesn't cost you anything and it might save them a lot of money. And if you are interested in buying property, you can send me the details. Whether you buy from me or not, it does not matter. I can help you check. My number is on the screen.